Hello, it's Pastor Sarah, and today is day 15, which means we only have 10 more days until Christmas. So today I've got Minnie. She is in almost head to toe pink. She got a new water bottle today to go with her coffee cup, because even if you're drinking healthy beverages, you need lots of water. So kind of glad. And I also have been known to coordinate my water bottle and my shoes. So Minnie and I have that in common. All right, so today, day 15 is actually hard for you to see. It's over here. All right, our story today. Wreck-It Ralph, Wreck the Halls. Vanellope von Schweetz, president of Sugar Rush, lay down in a drift of powdered sugar. "Ralph, watch this," she called to her friend. Ralph was visiting from his own video game, Fix-It Felix Jr. Vanellope moved her arms and legs quickly through the fluffy powder. Then she sprung to her feet. "Ta-da! A sugar angel!" she exclaimed proudly. Ralph smiled weakly. "Oh yeah, nice one," he said. So here's Vanellope and Ralph. Ralph doesn't look so happy. Wonder what's going on with Ralph. Vanellope could tell something was bothering Ralph. "Hey, shouldn't you be Mr. Holly Jolly? It's only a few days until Christmas. Your first real Christmas." The festive period was usually pretty lonely for video game bad guys like Ralph. But ever since Ralph had saved his game from being unplugged, the Nicelenders had realized what a good guy their bad guy was. For the first time ever, they had even invited Ralph to their Christmas party. So here's Ralph helping decorate with the Nicelanders, and there's Felix. And he's getting to kind of experience some of the joy of Christmas. "It was great to go to the Nicelanders' party," Ralph admitted. "But you know what? The whole time I was there, I couldn't stop thinking about the bad guys and all the other games. Their Christmas will be just as lonely as ever." Ralph remembered past Christmases spent alone on his brick pile. Bad guys deserve a real Christmas too. So here he is talking to Vanellope and thinking about how things used to be. Vanellope tilted her head to one side, then nodded. "You're right," she said, "and we can give it to them." She remembered how bad it felt to be left out by the other racers in her own game. "Let's throw the bad guys a Christmas party with presents, a tree, the whole 9 yards." Ralph's face lit up. "That's a perfect idea." He hopped in excitement, then landed with a boom. The ground shook and a towering sugar drift toppled over, burying Vanellope. "Oops, sorry," said Ralph, digging her out. He got very excited. Ralph called a special meeting of the Bad Anon support group. "Every year, we bad guys get stuck on the outside of Christmas. Well, this year, everything is going to be different." Ralph told them all about how wonderful Christmas could be, with decorations, presents, songs, and parties. Everyone was really excited. Ralph's Christmas sounded like so much fun. "I want everyone to meet here in the support group room on Christmas Eve," said Ralph, "and get ready for the merriest Christmas ever." So here he is with the other bad guys, the monsters and the zombies. Ralph and Vanellope got busy making a special gift for each bad guy. They planned something for everyone, including a new fireproof cape for Satine, 8 cozy mittens for Cycloptopus, and a jar of extra sticky toffees for Zombie to reattach his arms. "And now for the tree," said Vanellope. "It just isn't Christmas without a tree covered in sweets." They found a perfect lollipop tree in Lollysticks Forest. Then they strung it with popcorn garlands and hung candy canes on its branches. A glistening rock candy star twinkled on top. "Not bad," said Vanellope, stepping back to admire it. Ralph agreed. It didn't exactly look like the Nicelanders' Christmas tree, but he knew the bad guys would love it. So here they are getting the presents together. And here they are decorating their lollipop tree. Now there was just one day left until Christmas Eve, and Ralph was worried about something. How are we going to carry all this to the support group room? Vanellope wrinkled her nose as she thought it over. Then her eyes widened. The same way Santa does, she replied, in a sleigh. Vanellope dragged Ralph across Sugar Ruff to the Cart Bakery. There they could use all the sugar, frosting, and sweets they needed to create the perfect Christmas cart. Has anyone made a sleigh before? Asked Ralph. I doubt it, but there's a first time for everything, Vanellope replied, as she fiddled with the controls. So here they are trying to make a candy sleigh. See how that goes. Gears turned, belts rolled, mixers mixed, and frosting frosted. Within minutes, a gleaming vehicle slid out of the finisher and came to a rest at Ralph's feet. One rocket-powered candy sleigh ready to go, Vanellope declared. On Christmas Eve, the two friends met to bring Christmas to the bad guys. Vanellope came dressed and ready to play an elf. I didn't have a hat in a size freakishly large, so I made you this. She tossed Ralph an empty sugar sack tied with a red bow on the side. So there's their finished cart. Looks pretty cute. And here's Vanellope as an elf, and there's Ralph's little hat. How about I get us off the ground, said Vanellope. She shooed Ralph into the passenger seat. You can turn on the rockets once we get going. Vanellope revved the engines, and they were off. Soon they were flying smoothly toward the game exit. Okay, let's get this thing moving, Ralph called out, reaching for the left and right rocket switches. He flipped them both, but his powerful grip snapped one of the tiny rocket switches like a toothpick. Only one rocket turned on, and the sleigh spun out of control. So here they are at takeoff, and here things are not going very well. Vanellope tried to regain control of the runaway sleigh, but no matter what she did, it was no use. The rocket spiraled lower and lower until gloop. It came to a lurching stop in the middle of Great Caramel Lake. Ralph and Vanellope managed to swim to the shore, but the sleigh and all the presents were ruined. Ralph watched sadly as everything they had worked on sank beneath the caramel lake. Oh, it's all going down in the caramel. Empty-handed and covered in caramel, Ralph and Vanellope made their way to the support group room. Ralph hesitated. What are we going to tell the guys? I've wrecked their Christmas. The crash had been an accident, but Vanellope was still sad they wouldn't be able to have a Christmas party. Time to face the music, big guy, she said. But when they opened the door, the friends' jaws dropped. The room was completely decked out, and the party was well underway. The bad guys greeted them with a big cheer. Where did you get all this? Asked Ralph. We spent the last few days getting everything ready, Sorceress said. Yeah, you got us all in the Christmas spirit, Satine added. So here they were sad, and then they're shocked. Look, there's a tree and decorations, and everybody looks like they're ready to go. But Vanellope and I made presents, decorated a tree. We even made a sleigh, but I wrecked it. I wrecked everything, said Ralph sadly. Don't be silly, said Satine. You're the reason we're here, spending Christmas together. That's a pretty great gift. The other bad guys nodded in agreement. A wide smile spread across Ralph's face. Merry Christmas, everyone. They all celebrated late into the night. It truly was the merriest Christmas any of them had ever had. So this story is really interesting. Ralph and Vanellope were trying to do it all on their own. They had good hearts. They wanted to bless the other bad guys. But we're not meant to do everything on our own. We are meant to work together. We are supposed to work together in our homes, in our schools, in our jobs, in our neighborhoods, in our communities. And Christians all over the world are meant to work together. So we're not called to be lone people trying to do it all. We are meant to support one another and allow others to take their rightful place and help. And that's what Ralph and Vanellope did. They made space for the bad guys to feel like they were included, that they could play too, and they could enjoy some of the very same things others did. This is another story about redemption, A lot of people sometimes feel like no one can love them. They don't feel worthy, they don't feel good about themselves, and other people don't seem to like them. But God loves everybody, and God asks us to learn to love other people too. And that's what Ralph was trying to do, to make space for those that thought that they couldn't ever be included and ever be loved, to experience what it is to be accepted and welcome. We call that hospitality in the church, to show someone that they are welcome here. They are welcome in our homes, in our church, in our lives, and in our hearts. And that is one of the best gifts that you can ever give someone. You don't buy that at a store. You can't wrap it in wrapping paper, and it doesn't go under a tree. It's an invitation, and it's a relationship. And that is one of the best gifts that you can ever give anyone, is to let them have a place in your heart. And so I hope that this year, all of us, adults included, work on making space for others in our lives and in our hearts. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.